So you want to add as much value to your property as possible, but you don't have the money to do it. This is how you do it. So as you can tell by the title, we're going to talk about refurbing your property as cheap as possible. So I've just finished refurbing a house now, and I done it for under £10,000, and that includes a full rewire, a full plaster of the house, a new kitchen, and the list goes on. So in this video, I'm going to break down how I've done it and how you can do it to save yourself as much money as possible. So let's get into some tips and tricks. So the first one is kitchen. So a lot of people, when they buy a house, the first thing they look at is a kitchen. And I don't know why when you go on to Rightmove, it's normally the 7th photo. Because pretty much everyone goes for a kitchen and they look at the kitchen standards or the spec of the kitchen. So how can you actually use this to brighten up the kitchen and really engage the customer into buying that property? And usually a lot of people look at the kitchen and see, oh, that's quite old, and they'll completely rip out the kitchen. The problem is when you do rip out a kitchen, you've got all the costs that come with it. So you could be paying someone to rip the kitchen out, paying for a skip to put the kitchen in. A skip could be up to 200, 300 quid, depending where you get this skip. So all these things add up. And then installing a kitchen, you got to pay then, or most probably pay to install the kitchen, all the labor costs, everything like that. Also buying the kitchen alone, like buying a decent kitchen without breaking the bank, that can be pretty challenging. So that's a lot of money just doing that. So you need to step back, look at the kitchen, and then really like go down to the carcass of the kitchen. So the carcass is the cupboards. Forget the doors and everything and the faces for now, but are the cupboards in a good shape? Can you just clean them, wash them, paint them, and bring them up to a decent standard without even spending any money? And most of the time, the answer is yes, especially for a rental property. If you are renting out the property, then you don't need to be spending and getting a high standard, top of the knot range kitchen. If a kitchen's there, look at the cupboards. It could just do with a clean, a wash, a wipe, whatever, and they could be perfectly fine, especially if you are renting them out. And then next then is the faces, so the doors. And then obviously you've got to break it down then and just see, is the cupboards fine? It could just be handles, so it's just replacing handles, updating the handles. Again, if a handle is loose, it could be taking a handle off, filling that hole, and then drilling a new hole and fitting new handles. Even better, you can just sand down the doors and repaint them, and that will save you hundreds of pounds alone. So just sanding down the doors. You can get the special like kitchen cupboard paint now. There's companies out there that come and spray your cupboards, paint your cupboards for you. So this is something you can do. Just sand them down, buy a pot of paint, paint your doors, and just completely refresh that kitchen completely. And yes, it does take a lot of time and effort, but trust me, it will save you a lot of money. And again, like I said, you can just paint those doors and the kitchen will look brand new pretty much. And you've pretty much just saved yourself a couple of £1,000 on a new kitchen, labour, installments, everything, appliances, whatever. All you've done is wash the cupboards and maybe change the handles and then maybe painted the doors. That's all you've done. Another tip then is black splash. So yes, imagine all that time a customer or a tenant's been cooking, all that oil splattering all over the walls, all them years. All you have to do is put some backsplash on there, so some tiles, something like that, and all you have to do then is just wipe those tiles down and it's nice and clean. Again, don't have to break the bank, just buy cheap, simple tiles, just tile the kitchen, around the cooker, the counters, whichever, and it's just a lot easier to clean, just wipe over instead of just constantly painting the kitchen. And again, with the tiles, you can make it a little more modern and attract the right tenants or buyers to come buy your house. Now, let's head to the bathroom. And again, exactly the same as the kitchen. A lot of people look at the bathroom, rip it out, reinstall a new one. And again, that just costs thousands of pounds to do. And again, it could just be something simple to bring the bathroom up to a nice modern standard and spend little money as possible. And what if I told you there's only one thing you need to bring that bathroom up and people to say wow, and that is a vanity unit. It's crazy, but all it is a cupboard with a sink on. Like, it's nothing crazy. You can pick one up for like £75, £100, and it will bring up that bathroom to a very modern standard, and it does catch a lot of eyes. And the rest of the bathroom, it could possibly just be a clean, maybe reseal the bath, get rid of some mold, update some tiles maybe just change the bathroom curtain, or just put a new glass on there, just something simple, just to bring up that the bathroom so it looks a little bit more modern. But it doesn't need much at all. Like I said, it could just be a vanity unit, a sink on there, so some new cupboards, maybe a mirror on the wall, like a new cupboard, storage cupboard in the bathroom, simply a £200 max, and that bathroom could be looking really modern and bringing that cost of the house up as well. And then another tip is reuse what's there. So if you just bought a house and you are ripping certain stuff out, try and reuse it if you can. So especially if you are trying to build a property portfolio, then every little bit of money helps. The less you can spend on the house, then that money you can reinvest into another property and keep building your portfolio. So again, like I've seen people, I've gone to a house and the skip is full of like boxes of tiles they haven't used, where they've ordered too many boxes. Again, reuse it. So if you've bought tiles for the kitchen, they've tiled the kitchen, and you've still got a load of boxes left, then maybe look if those tiles can go into the bathroom. Again, bringing that bathroom up to a modern standard by just using tiles that you've already bought, which they're just going to chuck away. Again, bricks. You can see skips full of bricks, and bricks are pretty expensive now. I think you get like £2 a brick, maybe a little bit less, but again, that's just one brick. Imagine if you like building a shed or bricking a wall or something like that. That £2 times 100, it all adds up. So try and reuse what's already there. So if you are knocking down a shed, like a brick shed, and you are building a wall, then maybe try and use those bricks from that shed on that wall if you can, just to try and save some money over the long run. And again, that money you've saved from reusing, you can use that money to add profit to that property, or increase that standard of the house, which can attract bigger buyers or people to spend more to buy that house. Another simple one is lighting. So a lot of people will go buy these energy saving light bulbs, stuff like that, and then within like a couple of weeks it's really dull, you can't really see. Spend a little bit of money, buy decent light bulbs, so when you do go in there, the house is really lit, nice and bright house. Again, especially when it comes to taking photos, really good lighting really helps capture people's eyes when they do look at photos. So again, really just spend a little bit more money on light bulbs and just brighten that house up with just a simple light bulb. Just think of this, a bright room is a bigger room. So the brighter the lights, the bigger that room looks to clients, tenants, people buying the house, etc. And finally, have a long-term focus. So yes, this may be spending a little bit more money, but have a look around the property, walk around and have a look. Because a lot of landlords and investors do this. They'll walk around, they'll go, ooh, there's a loose tile there, there's a loose something there, and they'll just think, like, oh, we'll do that in a couple of years' time, we'll do that when it comes to it. But don't fall into this trap. When it comes to stuff like that, spend the money and benefit from it. So, like I said, if there's a couple of loose tiles on the roof or there's a leak in the ceiling, then spend the money, get it fixed, and then that will pay off in the long run. So if you've got a loose tile on the roof, spend $5,000 then to get that repaired, because in, say, 2 to 5 years, that could get a lot worse and it could cause more damage to the property. So you can spend $5,000 now, get the roof fixed, or 5 years down the line, you could be spending 20-30 grand to get a completely new roof, or a new house where the roof just completely collapsed in or it's damaged the whole upstairs. You don't know where it's going to go. So spend that money now to get those repairs fixed and don't pay for it further down the line. That's it from me for this video, but if you do have any other tips, tricks, advice, then please put them in the comments box below so others can look at it, maybe get some tips from you guys. But again, thanks for watching. Please hit that thumbs up button and also subscribe.